Close your eyes and picture this. It is 31,000 years ago, deep in the heart of a limestone cave in Borneo. The air is thick with humidity and fear. A child lies on a bed of leaves and hides. Their life is in the hands of their community and in the hands of one individual who is about to perform a miracle. The procedure? A leg amputation? The tools? Stone? The anesthesia? Likely a potent brew of local plants? The chances of survival? By any modern logic, they should be zero. But what if I told you we have the body, and the story it tells rewrites human history? This is Liang Tebo, and this is our patient, known to archaeologists as TB1. For decades, this skeleton lay in silence. But when scientists examined it in 2020, it began to tell a story that shattered a century of assumptions. Look at the cut. This is not a jagged break from a rock fall or an animal attack. This is precise, surgical. It severs the tibia and fibula in one clean, oblique strike. But the real miracle is here. The bone has healed. Not just healed, but remodeled. This individual did not die on this cave floor. They lived for another 6 to 9 years. They grew into a young adult, and they did it here, in one of the most treacherous landscapes on Earth. To survive here without a lower leg is biologically impossible without one thing: relentless, sophisticated, long-term care. This was not a one-time act of bravery. This was a healthcare system. It meant someone had to understand anatomy to tie off blood vessels and prevent fatal hemorrhage. It meant knowledge of antiseptics, using honey, resins, or molds to fight infection in a tropical environment. It meant pain management from a complex local pharmacopoeia. And it meant a community that carried this person, fed them, cleaned them, and protected them for the months, even years, it took to recover. But if you think TB1 is an outlier, travel west to Iraq, go back another 20,000 years, and meet Nandi. Shanidar I was a Neanderthal man who endured a catalog of horrors, blinded in one eye, deaf, his right arm withered and paralyzed, likely amputated. He walked with a severe, painful limp. By any measure of prehistoric survival, he was a liability. Yet, he lived to be 40, 50 years old, an elder. For decades, his clan fed him. They guided him. They protected him from predators he could neither see nor hear. They invested precious resources in a man who could never hunt for them. This isn't just medicine. This is compassion. A value so deep, so fundamentally human, that we find it etched in bone 50,000 years before the first city was built. So how did they achieve this? The answer lies not in their bones, but in their teeth. In the El Cedron cave in Spain, another Neanderthal was suffering. We know he was sick because trapped in the hardened plaque on his teeth was his medicine. Yarrow, a powerful astringent to clot blood and fight infection. And chamomile, an anti-inflammatory and pain reliever. Here's the crucial detail. These plants are intensely bitter. They have no nutritional value. He wasn't eating them for food, he was consuming them for one reason only: to heal. This was deliberate, sophisticated pharmacology. Their medicine cabinet was vast and proven by trial and error over millennia. Willow and poplar bark for pain, the original aspirin. Honey, a natural antibiotic for dressing wounds, certain clays and molds to draw out infection. This was not superstition. This was applied science. With their pharmacy established, we turned to the most shocking evidence of all: the surgeons. Imagine the steady hands required to take this stone core and craft it into a scalpel capable of brain surgery. Trepanation, the deliberate removal of a piece of the skull. We have found hundreds of examples across the globe. In France, a skull from 6,500 BC. In Peru, a stunning collection from the Inca. And the evidence of success is undeniable: smoothed, healed bone growth around the edges. These people lived for years after the procedure. Some skulls show multiple operations. The survival rate in some cultures reached an astonishing 80%. Think of the knowledge this requires. You must know the topography of the human skull, where to drill without severing a major blood vessel and causing a fatal stroke. You must have the technical skill to penetrate the hardest bone in the body without shredding the delicate brain beneath. You must control bleeding and prevent infection. This is not the work of a novice. This is the work of a specialist. This implies a system, a transmission of knowledge, an apprentice learning from a master. The world's first medical schools were not in universities, but in caves. The first textbooks were not written on paper, but passed down through stories and demonstrated on real patients. So we are left with a choice. Do we cling to the comfortable myth of the primitive caveman, a grunting brute stumbling through a short, brutal life? Or do we look at the evidence? The evidence says they were innovators. They were healers. They were compassionate caregivers who valued every member of their tribe. They were brilliant botanists and master surgeons who turned the natural world into a source of healing. The distance between their world and ours is not as great as we think. The core principles are the same: knowledge, compassion, and community. They built the foundation upon which all of modern medicine stands. We simply added technology. In the end, the story of Paleolithic medicine is not about stone tools or bitter plants. It is a story about us, our innate drive to alleviate suffering, our capacity to care for those who cannot care for themselves, our relentless curiosity to understand and heal the human body. The next time you feel a sense of modern superiority, remember the surgeon of Liang Tabo. Remember the clan of Shanadar Cave. Their legacy is not buried in the past. It echoes in every hospital, in every act of care, in the very heart of what it means to be human.